and welcome to my final evaluation question. This video is sort of going to take the form of me sitting here in my bathroom on the floor telling you my findings, really, because how creative is that? For those of you who don't know, my fourth evaluation question is: how did you use media technologies in the construction and research, planning and evaluation stages? So I use a lot of different media technologies throughout all of them stages that I just mentioned, really. I think in total I used about 10 different forms of media technologies. To name these quickly for you now, we have Premiere Pro, Photoshop, After Effects, GarageBand. I also use a Canon 1200D, YouTube obviously to upload these videos, and of course this one, and an iMac and a MacBook as well, WordPress and tripod and lighting. So basically in this video I'm just going to go through each and every one of them I've just mentioned and tell you how they benefited my work and how they made it look more aesthetically pleasing as such. So let's get started, and we'll start with Premiere Pro as the first one. Premiere Pro was sort of a fundamental aspect of my work for all stages, from planning right through to the making of my trailer. Premiere Pro is an industry standard sort of software, and it lets me edit my videos in sort of an effective manner, which helped me to achieve sort of, in my opinion, a very high standard of work. I became more time efficient as a result of using it so consistently throughout the making of my trailer and all the planning and that. And sort of making more and more videos sort of helped me to sort of focus my time on the trailer and my ancillary texts, as I was sort of able to edit and upload a video in a short amount of time, so my timekeeping was sort of an overall success due to sort of my confidence with this program. As well as helping me sort of in terms of time, it was sort of effective in how interactive it is as well. My videos were very professional, as I sort of had previously used editing software such as iMovie, but I felt it wasn't really showing my potential. However, when I swapped over to Premiere Pro, yes, I wasn't really getting across my potential with videos on iMovie, and it sort of wasn't as stable as Premiere Pro. I found that iMovie would often crash after I edited a whole video, but Premiere Pro would always sort of auto-save, so even if I ran into a problem, so my computer would crash or something, Premiere Pro provided a sort of safety net that would ultimately help me edit more videos with ease. And Premiere Pro was sort of extremely important in all aspects of my work, sort of be like normal blog research, or for like my final research for my final sort of like research for making my trailer, and for making my final trailer Old Maid. The second media technology that I'm now going to talk about is Photoshop, which has sort of not only helped me make my thumbnails and my headers for blog posts, but was also the key software that I used to make my ancillary text for my trailer. And actually some of the props for my trailer were made using Photoshop. In my trailer I wanted to show sort of how my main antagonist develops her ideas and how she sort of carries out her plans and how she works out who her next murderer is going to be. And for this I decided that she would do this through the use of a playing card. On every victim that she took, she would then place a personalised playing card on their chest or a certain part of their body, and that playing card, as I said, was personalised, and it would feature the face of her next victim. So sort of to make these personalised playing cards, I actually used Photoshop to create this playing card. So that Photoshop obviously really helped in that aspect. And not only did it help me create this vital prop for my trailer, it also helped me sort of to make the engine titles for my trailer, and I also created both my two ancillary texts on Photoshop. I edited my auxiliary text on Photoshop, as it's sort of an extremely interactive program and helped me to sort of impose my main two characters' heads onto the playing card for my poster, and it also helped me when I created my magazine, as even for sort of like simple tasks like making some of sort of the text smaller and adding filters and to the photo of my protagonist and editing out any imperfections or blemishes. It was effective in ensuring the look of my two auxiliary tasks looked professional and achieved sort of their maximum potential, so I could get the highest mark possible. Photoshop also helped me greatly for sort of the mise-en-scène aspect of my trailer, as well as the use of sort of the playing card prop made it look more realistic and made the audience sort of know what was going on a little bit more. And it also sort of added a sort of non-conventional twist to it, as well as the card game aspect of my actual full trailer hasn't actually been used in any other film that I've actually seen. The next program is After Effects. I needed After Effects because I had to outline the need to use sort of specific and vital conventions of a trailer. I needed a company logo at the start, so After Effects was the program that I actually used to create the logo that you see at the start of my trailer. After Effects was by far sort of the hardest software that I found to sort of work with, but I feel that I did get great results from it, and I'm sort of very proud of the logo that I did actually eventually get to create. And I also created sort of the title for Old Maid on After Effects and the release date, as I managed to make a few of the letters actually flicker to sort of give it a more mysterious look about them. I didn't use Adobe After Effects as much as I used Premiere Pro and Photoshop, but I did use it when necessary, and I feel that it did benefit me greatly. And it's sort of such an advanced software that it sort of made me greatly sort of develop my skills, and I wasn't really afraid to use new software to take my work to the next level, and I feel that I gained sort of more marks in the final sort of whole look at things as a result of me sort of having the confidence to sort of dive into something I wasn't really sure of and actually use this program that is actually quite complicated. Another program that I used that was a lot easier than After Effects was actually GarageBand. I only used GarageBand for my trailer, but I did practice with it until I sort of got to grips with it, and I sort of found sounds that I felt fitted perfectly with my trailer. I would spend literally hours trying to create the perfect soundtrack to fit my trailer, as I sort of feel that sound is quite a vital part of a trailer, and it's important that it fits with each clip that the audience are viewing. GarageBand is actually sort of a relatively easy software to use, and sort of I felt that I got more confident and it became easier more and more to use it more and more after a while. It just sort of like clicks, and then you know exactly what you're doing. And I managed to create sort of, in my opinion, the perfect piece of music to sort of fit my trailer and sort of add atmosphere. And I also managed to add non-didactic sort of sound effects of dialogue into this piece of music just through the use of GarageBand, instead of having to add them all on as layers on Premiere Pro. So yeah, like GarageBand was only used once, but it did have a huge effect on the outcome of my trailer, and I think I sort of benefited as a result of using this sort of like using this software, even if it was only the once. So there are the programs that I used. So now we're going to sort of move on to some of the equipment and some of the sort of online stuff a bit. So the first piece of equipment that I obviously used was my DSLR camera, which is a Canon 1200D. This was a huge part of my research, and it's been used in my planning, my audience research, my trailer, my auxiliary text, the photos for them obviously, and all for my evaluation questions. What you're looking at right now is me sitting in front of my Canon 1200D. I think this camera was sort of used well. It was used for every single video actually, and it helped me to sort of make my videos and my blog a lot more interactive, and it works well with like the softwares that I've already mentioned, as the videos and the audio are of a quite good quality due to the fact it's not one of the lower versions of a Canon camera. And by using it for taking photos of my auxiliary text, to sort of filming the scenes of my trailer, my camera was sort of a piece of equipment that was sort of so underrated in terms of importance, because obviously without my camera I wouldn't be sat here and I wouldn't be able to do any of this. And obviously my research and evaluations would sort of look a lot less creative and interactive if they were just written, because obviously I wouldn't have a camera. and I feel it's sort of having this having a camera helped me to get a high mark because of sort of like the like greatly important role that it played throughout the tasks that I was set. Another piece of sort of equipment that I used was an iMac at school and my Mac at home. Using an iMac was sort of essential really in how I created my work, because a lot of the programs that I've mentioned are mainly on sort of Apple iMacs and MacBooks. Sort of using my MacBook let me create all of the scripts for my videos and all the thumbnails to go with it, and I would sort of then transfer all of the work that I had done the previous night onto the iMacs at sixth form to edit and upload them in a simple way, so that I could make better use of my time and wouldn't have to sit there making the thumbnails and editing and everything all in one go at school. I could just come home, do all the sort of tiny details for it, and then just edit it and just upload it at school. Yeah, I could literally, by doing this, I could literally just film the video at home, edit the bits I needed, sort of like the stationary bits that I needed, put them all onto a memory stick or an SD card, put that into the Mac at school, and I could then create a video sort of within an hour and upload it to YouTube, and that was done. I feel that the Mac operating system, once you've got used to it, it's very easy and it's very interactive as well. So sort of creating videos and updating my blog was very simple to do, and it's sort of one of the main reasons why I created so many videos for my blog, because I found it so much easier to do on a Mac. Yeah, I sort of found it a lot more entertaining to make videos on a Mac due to how easy they are, rather than to just sit there and waste my time just writing everything out, and I sort of felt like that benefited my actual work in the long run. The next piece of equipment I'm going to talk about is my tripod. This was used frequently, not as much as my camera however, because there were certain times when other people were borrowing it or I'd left it at school, so I would have to do what I'm doing now and just sort of sit it somewhere and talk. This was used, my tripod was mainly used for both sort of recording my audience when I needed their opinions and their feedback, but also as well for my trailer, because obviously I needed it to be stable so that I didn't get any shaky shots that weren't meant to be shaky basically. Yeah, like I said, I needed steady shots so that my trailer sort of looked smooth and didn't look unprofessional. Also, this sort of meant that the mise-en-scène was sort of perfectly represented sort of by the clean camera work that is created when using a tripod, and having a tripod that's sort of not a very basic one but also has the ability to sort of like move the head of it around and sort of tilt it up and down, meant that I could also create sort of clean and smooth shots when I was doing panning shots and tracking shots. I found that quite difficult to do just with the camera on it by itself, but when I used the tripod I felt that it was a lot easier and a lot simpler to do that. I think that my work did greatly benefit through the use of a tripod, because I do get quite shaky hands when I use a camera on its own, so therefore sort of like a tripod was greatly needed when I was doing things like my trailer that I needed the most marks for. Yeah, I think in the end I use it for a few of my research videos, my trailer, all my audience research videos, and my evaluation question one where I sort of staged it as an interview. The final piece of equipment that I'm going to be talking about now is the lighting that I used, and this wasn't such a frequent occurrence in my videos. I didn't really use them that much in my trailer either, due to sort of like the themes in my trailer, sorry. I wanted quite dark shots and sort of outdoor footage that I didn't really need lighting for. However, I did use it for my indoor shot of my antagonist applying her makeup, so that the audience are sort of clearly introduced as character and can see her face. Also, due to these shots, it's sort of unclear whether she is sort of a hero or a villain, as she's shot in high key and fill lighting, which sort of added mystery to my trailer, and which was a convention that I outlined during my research and planning stages. Another part of my trailer that I did actually use lighting for was when I was filming the close-ups of my protagonist outdoors, because it was starting to get quite dark and I just sort of needed the final shots of him. So I actually have a light that sort of attaches onto the top of my camera, which just sort of has like a dimmer switch and a turn on and a turn off, and I just sort of turn it up the brightest. So, and it sort of, I think this actually really helped as it sort of brought out the colour of his eyes as well, because it reflected off, so it did give him quite an intense look when he's staring down into the camera, because obviously got the reflection in his eyes, and it just sort of made the colours of his suit and his face and his hair and his eyes, like I've said before, a lot crisper, so that the audience could get, so that I was showing a trailer that looked professional rather than looking blurry and grainy because the light was fading. So yeah, that's my lighting. The final two things that I'm going to be talking about now are sort of online platforms. They are YouTube and WordPress. I'll start with YouTube because that's the first one I just said, so just start that one off now. YouTube was used to upload every single one of my videos for my research and planning, my evaluations, and sort of my main trailer actually. Old Main was uploaded to YouTube, and sort of this allowed my film to sort of reach a wider audience, as I can sort of get all kinds of feedbacks, as YouTube is sort of a global platform, so people from all across the globe can watch it. YouTube was something that helped me, not just in sort of terms of uploading my work, but also for tutorials on how to use After Effects, as I said, as I struggled with this, and sort of tips and tricks for Photoshops, like editing out certain blemishes like shiny skin or whatnot. YouTube also helped me to interact with my audience a little bit as well, and it also helped me sort of to improve the quality of my work, as I was able to, like I said, as I was able to watch certain tutorials by YouTubers on how to use After Effects and other softwares. That this then, and I feel that this sort of then helped me to produce better work just through like the click of a button and using the internet, which is always a good thing to do. So yeah, and now for the final media, what's the word? Media technology, that's the one that I used, was obviously WordPress. This is the media platform that I uploaded all of my work onto. It is obviously my blog. This is what you're viewing this on now, so obviously it would be it's a very fundamental part. This helped me as I was able to sort of upload my videos and links to the videos onto my WordPress blog that I kept up to date and made very simple to use, so that my latest work was at the top and all my research was down at the bottom, so you can sort of see the progression of making my trailer. And it's a very easy website to use, and it's sort of free, and it allows me to show my work in a more creative way, more creatively than you can use on sites such as Blogger, in my opinion. Also, WordPress allowed me, like I said, to upload my videos, but not only just to upload my videos for everyone to see, but also so in case I wanted to add a little bit of like a conclusion onto the end of a video in like text underneath it, I was able to do that through WordPress, which is always good because it helped me get a little bit more marks, which is what I need. So yes, they were all the media technologies that I use, and I hope I've explained sort of how they helped me and how they benefited my work and how they sort of made it look as professional as I hope they do look. So yes, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and this is my last video now, so yes, this is very emotional. Goodbye, and don't miss me too much. It's been a blast.